Hello, everybody. Pastor Jackson here with a long overdue session on relationships. I'd like to welcome you all to another Love Chat line, and I'm going to encourage you right now to start sharing and to reach out and start watch parties, whatever. I got some deep stuff tonight. Got some deep stuff on singles. I got some deep stuff on marriages. And hey, I know what you're saying. Hey, man, you've been married for 35 years. What do you got to say on singles? Well, most of my church are singles. And I've had an opportunity to interview many singles. I've read up on the topic. I've never been an alcoholic, but I know what drink tastes like. So I want to just share a few things about relationships on tonight. All right, you ready? Let me pray. Eternal God, our Father, we thank you for this time of sharing on tonight, and I pray that you will allow the thing that I say on tonight, the thing that we utter, God, will bring you glory and bring us understanding. Help us now, God, to navigate through these waters of singlehood and then of marriage as well. Bless now, Father. We claim it as such. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen. Hey, God bless you. Tonight again, we kick off with our singles. Now, every time we always got folks logging in late to the line. And by the time I'm finished, you got to mark that win that will log on at the end. You got people that will come after the fact. Ronald Redmond, all these guys, they log in afterwards. But I got to go with the goers on tonight. I got to go with the goers on tonight and get started with our single. By definition, a single is an individual. Single is individual. It means to be an individual. I have some change here. They're singles. I have some singles here. Still valuable, but you know what that means when they're single? That means they're not attached to a whole number. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I got 5 singles, or I could have a $5 bill. Same thing, same value, but difference. Same, but different. The singles are still valuable and worth the same amount, just single. I don't know why many singles feel that they are not complete. I don't know why some singles feel like something is missing. I don't know why some singles feel that I can't wait to be a $5 bill. I can't wait to be a $10 bill. I can't wait to be a $20 bill. I'm telling you, 20 of y'all get together, same value. I want to tell you that there is a blessing even in singleness. Singleness still can be a blessing. But tonight, I want to talk first about perspective. Perspective. To me, that's everything, how you see yourself. One of the most powerful things that you have control over is your own thoughts, your perspective. There was a teacher today that forwarded me a letter that she was going to submit to her principal, and she was complaining about him not speaking or him not acknowledging, and then him, is not being friendly, and she was writing a letter to him to complain about his unacceptable behavior towards her in the workplace. And she decided to forward me the letter to stamp my approval. And I said, I hope you didn't send it. I hope you didn't send it. And she wanted to know why. I said, because your perspective is all wrong. T.D. Jakes said in his rules for the workplace, don't ever expect to be validated by folks on the job. The people are not there to like you. They're there to pay you, to respect you. If they don't speak to you, it's not a social event. This is a professional job. I know I taught school for 20 years and I've had principals that were just like that. They didn't smile. They didn't act like they liked me. They act like they had a problem with me. I had to get over it. I had to understand I wasn't there for the approval of the principal. And so when I think about perspective, then what happens to you is determined by you. Perspective. You see, a wrong perspective is this. Why am I still single? Why did he leave me? Or why did she leave me? Why am I divorced? Why don't I have anybody? When you talk like that, it disempowers you. You see, you've got to control what you can control. And things that are out of your control, you can't worry about them. That was the wrong perspective. Here's the right perspective. What have I learned in this season of my singleness? What did the last relationship I was in teach me? What would I do different in my next relationship? I put the responsibility back on myself versus other people. We focus too much on what other people did, what other people said, how other people acted, when actually it's my own perspective that is going to get me through. So, having said that, there are some things that you need to do if you're going to change your perspective. Are you interested? There are 4 things, and I'm not going to stay with y'all all night, but there are 4 things if you're really interested in changing your perspective. And then I'll give you another analogy. The first thing, if you're going to change your perspective, you've got to love yourself. You got to love yourself. You got to love your self-love is very important. I know the Bible says, love your neighbor as you do yourself. Love yourself. You got to love yourself. It don't mean that you like everything about yourself, but you've got to love yourself. The Bible talks about love when he says love is kind, love is long-suffering, love protects, love, hides wrong, does not keep record of wrong. Those things apply to yourself also. Love suffers long, which means it's patient. You got to be patient with yourself. You're not your best self yet. Yourself is still evolving. You got to be kind to yourself. Be good to yourself. Treat yourself. Take yourself out. Do something nice for yourself. Love yourself. How you gonna love somebody else when you don't even love yourself? You don't love yourself if you get yourself involved in toxic relationships. You don't love yourself if you allow other people to abuse yourself. I love myself too much to let you put hands on me. I don't like that kind of love. I love myself too much for that. I love myself too much to be battered and beat on like a punching bag. And you say you love me. The devil is a lie. That's too much love. Loving yourself. I read a book once that said, loving you almost cost me. Loving you almost cost me. The first thing that you need to understand, if you're going to have the right perspective, is you got to love yourself. Second of all, you have to enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. You know, one of the myths about marriage, we'll talk about that, is that, you know, people make you think they are so happy and you're so sad. They act like, you know, oh man, we are I'm a cloud nine ecstasy. You don't even know, man. Most singles sit around complaining about not being married, and a lot of married folks sit around wishing they were single. You got to enjoy yourself. Enjoy your singleness. I said, enjoy your singleness. Get comfortable with yourself. Date yourself. And don't drive either. Call a Uber, call a Lyft, call a car. Call a car to come pick you up and take yourself out to dinner. Enjoy your own company. You know, when you're in mixed company, it's rude to be on the phone. It's rude to be on the cell phone. Hey, when you're on your own, when you're on a date by yourself, you can be on the phone the whole time. You can text the whole time. You can watch a movie at the restaurant. Enjoy yourself. Laugh at yourself. See yourself as someone fun, man. I don't need people to have a good time. I'm talking about when you have the right perspective. Okay, love yourself, enjoy yourself. But here's another thing important. Number 3, improve yourself. Improve yourself. Use this time of singleness to improve yourself. Improve your spiritual self. Get closer to God in this single. The Bible said, man, when you get married, you have to mind the things of your husband or your wife. But to the single person, man, they get to enjoy the presence of the Lord. Improve that. Get closer to God in this singleness. And improve your spiritual health, but improve your financial status as well. There are people that are single now that are trying to wait till they get married to start saving. Wait till they get married to start doing things. Man, no, man. Improve it now. Build your credit score now. Don't wait for later. You don't even know, man. You may fall in love with somebody that lowers your score. You know, you need to take this time now to build your portfolio. Get yourself together, man. Save. Don't spend everything. I recommend the 10-10-80 approach, with 10% going to God, 10% going to savings, and 80% you live on. Live on 80. You single folks out there, don't try to live on 100. Live on 80. Don't try to spend everything. And don't cut God out your budget. Put him in the budget. Put God first. Save something and live on the rest. I'm trying to tell you, this is gonna help. It's gonna position you. When you start giving God his first, he gonna start blessing the rest of it. When you start giving God his first, He's going to open the right doors for promotion for you. I'm not trying to say, this is a tit for tat. I'm just trying to say that when you give, God give it back to you in good measures, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Well, God put it into your bosom. God make folk that don't even like you bless you. And then you got to be good stewards with the rest of it. Live on the 80. Don't live above your means. Improve yourself. Don't pick up unneeded debt. Too late, huh? Too late, Pastor. Too late. Well, going forward, you got to improve on your health. I'm trying to say that not only do I love myself, and not only do I enjoy myself, but I'm trying to improve myself. And so I'm trying to be my best. I'm trying to be my best self. I'm trying to make sure that I eat healthy. I'm trying to make sure that I get the exercise. When I love myself, I ain't trying to impress people all the time. I'm trying to impress myself. When I lose weight for myself. Not that someone else may think you fine as wine. Lose weight for yourself. You're healthy for yourself because you want to live longer. You want to live healthy. You want to live without complication. You don't want to be taking shots all the time. You want to be able to live without so much medication. So I want to improve myself health-wise. I'm gonna the gym thing may be a little challenging now with the COVID, but COVID is not going to last always. You need to make sure that you set some physical goals as well. Post your goals. Post them. Short-term, mid-term, long-term goals. Short-term, mid-term, long-term goals. It's about improving. I like to, maybe get my own house before I get married. I want to have a little something on the table as well. Remember those singles I showed you? They all are important. Remember those singles I showed you? Still valuable. You get enough of them, you'll be good. You ain't got to be trying to make it rain. You ain't got to try to make it rain. You can save them singles, man. You living single, you got to save them singles. Improve yourself. When you meet that person and they talking about, well, we can't go. You tell them, hey, I was doing this before I met you. I had already gone to Hawaii. I'd already gone to Paris. I'd already gone to Aruba before I met you. Me and my girls went there. You mean to tell me that I'm doing worse since I'm with you? Come on now. Single, you're not half, you're whole. You're not a half looking for another half. You're a whole looking for another whole. In fact, he need to be looking for you. When you got yourself together, you attract people that have themselves together. Yeah, you attract what you are. You're wondering, why I always get these broke, low down? Because you present yourself like that. Improve yourself. Work on yourself while you're single. You got that? That's 3 things I gave you. I told you that you got to love yourself. I told you that you have to enjoy yourself. I told you that you improve yourself. But then 4th of all, build quality relationships. Build quality relationships. Who you hang with says a lot about you. Build quality relationships. All friendships are not intimate. They are platonic relationships. If you are female, you can have male friends, but they need to understand what kind of friends we are. Are we casual friends? Are we common friends? Are we committed friends? Are we headed towards covenant friendship? You see, because I'm thinking that we are casual friends. And casual friends means that we just kicking it. It's nothing there, bruh. And listen, okay, listen. Listen to this. You gotta get this, especially you women out there. If this is casual, why you want him to pay for everything? If this is casual, why you want him opening door? Well, that's just being a gentleman. I know that. But see, sometimes you build unrealistic expectations when you start allowing people to do different things for you. If this is casual, this ain't no date. Come on now. This ain't no date. No, I got it. I got my door. I got my door. I know you're a gentleman and everything. That's cool. But I'm good, because I don't want you thinking this is a date. And I don't want you buying stuff for me. I don't want you paying for all the meals. Hell, I make more money than you, so why are you trying to pay for all the food? And so it's casual. And then if the casual thing, begin to work out, I enjoy each other company, then you move into common. And common is when you start finding out things that you have in common. Okay, you go to church, I go to church. Okay, you love the Lord, I love the Lord. Okay, some things that come. You love baseball, you love basketball, you love golf. You love tennis, you love eat certain places. So do I. And so sometimes casual will go into common. Now, when you start having common friends and having things in common, you got to start interviewing. Then make sure that the interview light comes on and you start looking because you don't want to be wasting their time or wasting your time as well. Because, then he start talking about commitment. Commitment don't mean the same thing to everybody. Does my girlfriend have a boyfriend? What level of commitment, what some commitment to some people is. I want you to be in a monogamous relationship. I don't want you to be seeing nobody, but I see everybody. One brother once said to a sister, he says, I'm not comfortable with you seeing other people. What's that show my wife was be watching? She be watching the show with the couples are on there and but they're not married. She watched this show and I don't watch them because I don't like getting hooked on them, but I sometimes we kicking it, so I watch it with this particular episode. Y'all watch it too. They were able to date other people while they're supposed to be a couple. So they can date other people, but they still are a couple to see how strong their relationship is. And so the one brother, he wasn't feeling her dating other people or going on another date with the same person. He wasn't feeling that. But he was dating, he had dated 4 other women and was still dating them, but he wasn't feeling her going. That's crazy. It's amazing what you are settling for. It's amazing what you are settling for. If we just keep the thing common, then we all can kick it. But you move into commitment, that's a little more serious. Because after that, you move into covenant. And if you skip commitment and go into covenant, then you're going to end up with problems down the line. Y'all feeling me? So establishing, building quality friendships are important. Now, in order to have friends, the Bible said you must also show yourself to be friendly. My daughter, she don't watch this show, so I talk about her. The other day I picked her up from school. She started a new school. She was a junior in her junior year, she transferred to a new school, and so she's a senior now, right? But she doesn't know everybody at the school. Neither does she want to. And so I picked her up from school the other day, and when she turned the corner, even with a mask on, she looks mad. I mean, she looks upset. And so when she gets in the car, she gives me a kiss and smiles. Hi, Daddy. I said, no. Who bothered you? She said, what? I said, who do I need to have a conversation with? She said, Daddy, nobody. I said, you mean you just look like that? I mean, you, you wonder why you don't have no friends? You don't look friendly. You don't look friendly. And of course, it makes people standoffish. And so in order to have quality friends, you got to be friendly yourself. And you got to try to meet them and mingle with them and have real friends in your life, not needy people that are always wanting something from you. Quality friends that's able to go out and pay for their own meal. Quality friends, amen, that only want friendship from you, not your friend for what they can get from you. Hey, is this making sense tonight? Am I making any sense tonight? Don't have me doing all this talking and don't make no sense. What I want to tell you now are some myths about singleness. Some myths about singleness. I'm going in deep in the paint tonight. The myths about singleness. Number one myth about singleness is something must be wrong with me if I'm single. Something must be wrong with me. What's wrong with me? Why I don't have anybody? Why do everybody else have somebody and I don't have nobody? First of all, everybody don't have somebody, and some people that have somebody don't want nobody. I'm trying to tell you that you can do bad by yourself, but it's a myth to think that something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Sometimes God's timing, it's not our timing. And so therefore, you must wait for who God has for you rather than trying to rush into something that's not of God. There's nothing wrong with you. Number two, idolizing marriage. Now, I've said that earlier, that we idolize couples. We automatically assume that couples are happy, and you say, I want to be like them. I want what they have, but you don't know what happens behind closed doors. You don't know whether people are really happy or not. You don't idolize couples. That's a myth. Don't do that. Number three, falling in love with love. Falling in love with love. I'm telling you, man, these television shows are messing y'all up. You see, all this love is in the air. I know when in my generation, we watched The Love Boat. The Love Boat. That was our Captain Stubing. That was our show, Love Boat. And even though we watched Gilligan's Island, wasn't enough love on Gilligan's Island. Professor, he was married, only one married. But you got Ginger and Marianne both there with the professor. You got Gilligan, you got the skipper, but there wasn't no connections. But today, man, it's love after love. My wife likes watching those Christmas on that channel with the Christmas stories. What is it? Lifetime. And, somebody's always fall in love with somebody, you already know it. I mean, the themes are all the same. You already know when this couple here, you already know they're gonna fall in love before the movie is over. You already know that. It just they're gonna like each other. Something's gonna happen. They're gonna get mad, and then at the end they're gonna come back together. But it's gonna be this happy ending with it, and so we fall in love with love, but that can be a myth because it takes a fool to know that love don't love nobody. That was a great philosopher that said that. Okay, here's number 4. Over spiritualizing this thing. I'm trying to tell you, we start looking for soul mates, and we think that we can build a bear. We can build him. We got this list. You got this list. And the Lord done told me it's gonna be everything on this list, and he gonna be this, and we want a pastor, he's gonna be tall, and he's gonna be dark, and he's gonna be handsome, and he's gonna be in shape, and on my list, and da da da. I ain't trying to say that you shouldn't have standards, but I'm trying to say don't over spiritualize things like this God's list. That ain't God's list, that's your list. And I understand too, you need a list, you need things that you need to be attracted to people as well. All I'm saying is that you may need to have a close list. Like this, he ain't this, but he close. You know what I mean? He may not be tall. You may have to put platform shoes on him, right? He may not be dark. He may be light. Light time might be the right time. I'm trying to say, really, we got to work with sometimes. You got to work with people sometimes. Don't over spiritualize this thing as you are in your quest to not be seen. Here's number 5, putting your life on hold. Hey man, how much time I got? Am I over time with the singers? Okay, all right. I don't want married folks to get mad with me. Putting life on hold. Putting your life on hold. I talked about that a little bit earlier. Live your life. Do what have your bucket list of things that you want to do and go after it. But don't be waiting for you to get married to do that. That's a myth. Putting your life on hold. Number 6, some people feel like they cannot be happy alone. Some of the happiest people I know are single. Some of the happiest people that I know are single. You can be happy alone. Number 7, I talked about that already. Here's number 7, don't settle. Don't settle. A piece of man is better than no man. You just saying that, Pastor, because you got somebody, but I ain't got nobody. And so you want somebody that belongs to somebody else. It just ain't no blessings in it. You may be some temporal things. You may get some nail, feet, and hair situations. You may get some gas in the car. You may get a couple of bills paid, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it in the end because you don't want what go around to come back around. Don't settle. Don't settle. Okay, you got it. Here's number 8. Have some standards. Have some standards and make them respect your standards. Now that's the problem because we're living in a world with low standards, and here you're trying to date somebody and you have standards, but they have other options that have no standards. You're saying, no, I'm not comfortable with doing that, and then they're like, hey, well, what? No, I used to call names as like crazy names of people, but I stopped doing that because all of them be somebody's name. And so I almost did that. I almost went there with some of my craziest names, but nope, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to simply say that whatever you do, somebody, whatever you don't do, there is somebody else that will do. And sometimes the people that will do put pressure on the people that won't do. And then you start doing because you don't want somebody else to take care of business that you feel like. But that's the problem. Once you start lowering your standards, where do you stop? Maybe stop trying to find people that will come down to standards, but find people that will come up to where you are. Keep your standards. I know that may sound contradictory to what I said about the list. Sometimes the list can be very fantasy, but then standards, there are some things that you don't compromise on. Don't compromise on them. If there are some things that you say, I ain't doing that, bruh. I ain't doing that, sis. Hang it, stay with that. Either they come up to you or you refuse to go down to them. All right, moving on. Number 9, expecting a finished product. Expecting a finished product. Again, I say that people sometimes are work in progress. See, here's the thing. Why are you expecting people to have a finished product when you're not finished yourself? God is still working on you as well. And so there may be some things, there may be even some habits, there may be even some things that God is working on that person. Some of the best people I know now had some habits that some wife worked with them on. There were some things that brothers, had struggled with, but God was able to deliver them from that. One of the best members of our church was married to someone that was heavy into drinking, but she hung in there with it until God takes the taste of alcohol from their mouth. So there sometimes they are works in progress. And then last of all, not preparing yourself. That's the myth that's the 10th. You go into marriage not preparing yourself. Get yourself together. Get yourself ready. Don't you wait till later. You start tonight getting yourself together. I told my wife about a man in the airport today. There was a man in the airport, well-dressed, talking about perspective now. And this is my last thing I'm saying to singles on tonight. This is my last thing I'm saying to you tonight. There was a man, well-dressed man in the airport, and there was a donut shop there. And he went to get just a couple of donuts, but there was a special. 5 donuts for $5. 5 donuts for $5, but they had to be the same kind of donuts. They were the coffee roll donuts, the kind that you dip in coffee. Well, back in the day, they used to dip them in coffee, but the plain donuts. But there were 5 for $5. The man says, "That's a great deal. Put them in a white bag, same white bag," and he goes to sit down at a table, puts all his things down on the table, has his newspaper. He decides he's going to read his newspaper first and then enjoy his donuts and the coffee. But there sits at the table with him a man that looks almost like he's homeless, but it can't be because he's at the airport. And these days, you can't be in the airport unless you're catching a flight. So he is there. He looks kind of scrubby, but he is there at the same table, nice guy. I'm reading my newspaper. Then all of a sudden, I hear my bag crinkling, and I look, and the man is getting a donut from out of the bag. I can't believe it. And so he says nothing. And so the man decides, I'll get a donut out of the bag also. To establish the fact this is my bag. He gets the donut out the bag. He eats a donut. How many donuts did I say there were? 5 donuts. And so now 2 are gone. And so he goes back to reading his paper after the donut. He hears the bag again. He looks up and the guy is getting another donut out the bag. He can't believe it. And so he gets another donut out of the bag to establish the dominance that this is, but he doesn't say anything. He just looked, and the man is smiling, looking at him, don't say anything, just smiles. And so he hears over the intercom a flight that was leaving, but it wasn't his flight, it was the man's flight. The man gets up from the table. He reaches into the bag to get the last donut. He puts the paper down and looks at the man in disgust, and then the man breaks the donut in half and offers him half of the last donut. He's speechless because the man in his condition, he's figuring, well, he needed the donut. He was like, he takes the half of the donut from the guy, and the guy gets up and leaves for his gate. He's scratching his head. You'll say, where you going with this, Pastor? Here it is. Are you ready for it? You ready for this? He hears his gate announce. He gets up from the table. He gets his briefcase. He gets his coat. And under the coat was his bag of donuts. Under the coat was his white bag with the 5 donuts. The man wasn't taking his donuts. He was taking the man's donuts. And the man was smiling at him, knowing that this guy is eating my donuts. And then he breaks it and gives him half. Perspective is everything. It changed that man's whole perspective. He wished he could have found the guy to tell him, I'm sorry. Wish he could have found the guy to apologize, but the guy was gone. It taught him a life lesson. If that guy could share the donuts with a total stranger, why am I tripping because somebody is in my perceived bag? Hey, that's it. That's enough for the singles on tonight. Well, the couples tonight, come in a little closer to the couples on tonight. You know, the first thing I want to tell you is marriage is complicated. Marriage is complicated. Trying to live with somebody is complicated. But you know what complications are? You know why things are complicated? Things are only complicated if you don't understand how to do it. It's only complicated if you don't understand how to do it. Life can be complicated if you don't understand what goes into life. Something is only complicated if there is ignorance. Flying an airplane is very complicated except to a pilot that knows how to fly it. Golfing is complicated to non-golfers. Golfing is the only sport that a ball is involved, that the ball don't move while you're trying to hit it. You're playing baseball, the ball is moving. Soccer, the ball is moving. Football, the ball is moving when you're trying to catch it. Golf, the ball is in one place, even teed up. saying, hit me if you can. It's complicated if you don't know how to do it. If there's ignorance of the game, ain't no telling where that ball going. But when you learn how to play, when you learn the game, it's not as complicated. So many get into the institution of marriage without knowing the rules. We don't know the guidelines. We don't know the game. There's ignorance of the institution. And so we wonder why 1 out of every 2 marriages don't even work. That is a terrible percentage. 50% of marriages end up either in divorce or separations. What other thing would you get into that there was a 50% chance it was not going to be successful? What investments would you make that there was a 50% chance that you would not be successful? One of my partners in the barbershop on Saturday, he bets on the college football games, and he covers the spread. Like, there was one game he said, man, all my team have to do is they're giving them 15 points. They gave them 15 points. That meant, I'm not a gambler like that. I'm not a gambler. And so I didn't know what that meant. I said, what that mean? He said that if my team